Did you know that there are 5 common mistakes that homeowners make when selling their home? We're gonna go over those in this video. Now, the first one is choosing the wrong pricing strategy. Now, pricing strategy is different than price. It does involve price, but we're gonna suggest 3 different strategies in particular. The first one being an auction or an auction type of frenzy environment. So you choose a price that actually prices the property under what you might think that it's valued. And the point would be to generate interest as you would in an auction. So people see tremendous value when you price your property potentially lower than it should be. And so the idea then is you attract a lot of people, there's a lot more bidding, people feel like they've got to bid to be able to get it, it stirs up kind of a frenzy. Okay, and that's the intention, but you can also imagine that there are some drawbacks to that. Now, sometimes if you don't end up getting that attention, and if it's not combined with the right marketing and the exposure and those types of things, then you end up with an auction that falls short. So it's a strategy, it's something to consider, but you don't want to underprice your property if the goal is to drive the interest level up and then have it fall short. So there's some give and take and there's some risks, so it's an approach. Now, the second approach would be fair market value. And there's not a lot to say about this. Really, fair market value is, what is the price worth? Let's put the property out there. Let's advertise it as this price. It makes sense to people. You typically end up with lots of showings, interest, activity, and then the property sells near that price, depending on how well you've priced it. The third strategy would be I call it overinflate to negotiate, right? So a lot of people will overinflate the price of their property and in hopes that there's going to be some negotiation. Now, in a fast-moving market, this can certainly work against you because you don't want your home to be stigmatized by the fact that it's been on the market for much longer than other homes are in the neighborhood. If everything's selling in 10 days, for instance, and your home is sitting for 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 days, people are going to think there's something wrong with it. It could just be that it's not priced well, but that is an approach. Now, some people will choose that approach because they think, well, I'm always going to get lowball offers. Let's just see what it can sell for. I understand the approach. It might be right for you. We can discuss that. Those would be the 3 pricing strategies that address the issue that homeowners have when they're pricing their home incorrectly. All right, let's talk about the second common mistake that sellers tend to make when selling their home. Now, it's dismissing the importance of the first impression. Okay, this speaks to marketing. Now, we've got all kinds of videos in where we cover all the different aspects of marketing that we do. So it's important to understand that the largest amount of buyers are going to come through the home in the first 10 days. And in a fast-moving market, they may come through, the vast majority of buyers might come through in a weekend. So you want to make sure that that first impression really represents you and your property the best. Is your property clean? Is it in good shape or bad shape? Have the repairs been made? Has it been photographed properly? Has it been staged properly? Is it well represented online? What are people's impressions? The first 10 days are absolutely critical in getting your home sold. And so really, this is a point that we could go on in quite a bit of detail. In fact, we have other videos on the way that we market a property and the importance of marketing, which ultimately the point of marketing is to drive exposure to your listing so that you have the best opportunity to sell it. Right. Do not assume that all agents are the same. This brings up our third point. When you hire a team or an agent, you really need to understand that not all agents are the same. Have you heard of the 80-20 rule? Did you know that about 20% of the agents do about 80% of the work? In other words, they close about 80% of the real estate transactions that happen across the city. So there's really only about 10 to 20% of really active agents. A lot of the other agents are part-time. There was recently a statistic that showed that the inventory across the United States was 1 million homes. And there are actually 1.4 million real estate agents that are licensed. Gives you a good indication that not everyone takes this seriously. Not everyone is a full-time, full-service agent. Okay, they may spend more or less time on their education. They may have less support. They may offer less features and benefits when you're working with them. So Please keep in mind that not all real estate agents are the same. We have videos on how to interview an agent, what to look for in an agent. We encourage you to take a look at those. All right, point number 4, not understanding market indicators and statistics. Now, this should be something that a good agent can help you solve. But the last thing we'd want for our sellers is to be undereducated or miseducated, misinformed. Okay, what happens a lot of times is there's only a certain amount of information that's available publicly where you can go on and you can hear by word of mouth, hey, what did the neighbor's house sell for? Or you go onto one of the online sites and you read an article, or you look at some sold information and you get a sense of what's going on. So the word of mouth and online can be great resources as a starting point, but it typically doesn't tell the entire story. So our goal as your real estate agents would be to educate you so that you're not making mistakes by not understanding the key market indicators and statistics that would help you to sell your home for the very most amount of money, or to be able to buy the home right, and the right home for you, buy it right at the right price, under the right conditions and terms. All right, the 5th and final point, and the most common mistakes that homeowners tend to make when they sell their home, is just not understanding the process. Now, did you know that there are over 180 steps to sell a home? That's at least certainly our calculation. There's all kinds of things from marketing your home to showing management and feedback, offer negotiations, title work, lender communications, and what they're understanding the role of a lender, inspection negotiations, understanding HOA documents, finding the HOA documents, understanding which ones are pertinent to a sale, improvement location certificates or surveys. How much do you know about those? We want to educate you on all these aspects. Appraisal scheduling, appraisal negotiations. Sometimes appraisals can be influenced or negotiated. There's dates and deadlines to manage. There's closings to take care of. All kinds of little and big details that go into selling a home. We want to make sure that you are well communicated with, well educated on the process, and ultimately it's going to lead to a successful transaction for you.